Boca Raton, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the most elegant and best cities to live in all of South Florida. There's no denying that. However, these are 5 reasons why you might actually hate living in Boca completely, and number 1 is going to piss you off to no end. But before we do that, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe button, especially if you want to be the first to know about everything going on here in South Florida and Florida in general. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Joe, and my team and I help people move all over the state of Florida. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. But let's jump right into it and tell you exactly why you're going to hate living here in Boca. Number 5 has to be the traffic. And yes, the traffic sucks everywhere in South Florida. There's no getting around that. But look, hear me out. Traffic in Boca used to be actually not too bad. Like you used to be able to go like east to west and west to east pretty quickly, only taking about 20 to 30 minutes. Like there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. Yeah, there were lights and stuff, but for the most part, it wasn't like anything like of that of Broward County and Miami-Dade where it's just a freaking nightmare. But recently, I'd probably say within the last 5 to 7 years, the traffic in Boca has actually gotten a whole lot worse. There's a lot more people moving here, which is definitely not helping. And then it seems like some people just don't know how to drive in general. They're driving way too slow. They're just doing their own thing. And it's definitely not helping. So now like going east to west and west to east is taking anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes. And like, especially if you're commuting for work or you're going to an appointment or an event or something, it's definitely like a downer and it's kind of frustrating at the same time. Plus you have people like, you know, just not caring. So that's definitely something to take into account. Yes, the traffic sucks everywhere. It's not terrible, but it is getting worse. So it's going to be interesting to see how Boca decides to fix this issue moving forward. Plus the construction on the roads doesn't help either. At number 4, we have the HOA fees, and not only just HOA fees, but high HOA fees, in fact. So good luck trying to find a house or a home or a condo or a townhome or just anything here in Boca where it doesn't have an HOA fee. It's almost like it doesn't exist. And yes, it's not uncommon for you to have to pay like a $500 to $700 a month HOA. I know you're thinking like, whoa. What in the world am I getting for this $500 to $700? Well, you're getting a home. Congratulations. There's a couple of amenities. No, I'm just kidding. Depending on the neighborhood, you do get a lot more amenities, while others are literally, they're just cutting the grass and it's for the sidewalks and the asphalt. But one of the big things in Boca is there's a lot of country club communities. So it's definitely not uncommon, especially like, let's think, for example, Boca West. You're going to pay $90,000 for a mandatory membership. Then you're also going to have to pay for the annual social membership as well, plus your annual or your monthly HOA dues on top of that. So yes, you're getting a home in like the 300s and 400s, but you're also having to shell out all this extra money as well. So that's definitely something to take into consideration before you decide to just jump in and move to Boca. Which leads us into number 3, the prices. You definitely pay a premium for living in Boca and having a Boca zip code. In terms of the homes in Boca, the median sales price is $670,000, and they have everything from condos, 55 plus communities, townhomes, country club communities, to even homes on the water as well. So like if you live in Deerfield just south of Boca, parts of Deerfield kind of look like Boca, definitely not the same, but you're paying a much cheaper price. The minute you step into Boca, like it just feels more expensive. You're like, holy crap, I just lost a couple $100. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, but it is a lot more expensive, and it just comes with that premium and that feel that Boca does have within it. Boca is going more for that clean cut, that elegant, like it's going for that much more upscale, affluent type community, and you can feel that, and a lot of people do appreciate that, and I'm one of those people. I definitely think it's worth it to have that Boca zip code. Yes, you do pay a premium for it, but in the end, I mean, it's worth it in both the equity gain as well as the resale value. Plus, I mean, all the amenities and things to do in Boca, you kind of see like, hey, this is what I'm paying that price for. On the flip side though, if you don't want to pay that price, there are plenty of great options right around the Boca area where they are a little bit more affordable. You don't have to shell out as much money and you still get to enjoy all that. You just have to drive a little bit more, which at the end of the day isn't too bad either. And number 2, which kind of ties into the prices a little bit, I feel like, is the bouginess of Boca. And you can definitely feel like the minute you step into Boca, like it definitely has a bougie type feel to it. And I, for one, actually love it. I mean, you can just see the difference in like just the way that people carry themselves and the things. It's in somewhat of a way to say it, it is kind of flashy, which isn't the worst thing, but it's also not the best thing. I mean, you could definitely feel like you're keeping up with the Joneses in some aspects of it if you do live in Boca. But on the flip side of that, I mean, it is really cool to see people like having an appreciation for some of the nicer things in life, especially the car scene. The car scene in Boca is unbelievable. It's definitely not uncommon to see a bunch of Rolls Royces, Ferraris. You'll even see an occasional Bugatti, which is pretty cool. And just the way that people kind of carry their cars and vehicles and deal with it. If that's not your thing, you definitely see it in both all the clothes, purses, the jewelry, the watches, just everything in general. Like if it's something out there where you can spend some money on it, people definitely have no hesitation to spend it and to flaunt it here in Boca. And at number one, the absolute worst thing about living in Boca, and it's gonna drive you freaking insane, especially if you hate this, is the people's attitudes. There is a huge difference in people's attitudes who live in Boca and they live in the surrounding areas. Like the minute you could tell if someone's from Boca or they're from Delray or they're from Boca or Deerfield, like completely change in things. And for some people, it could fire them up. And like me, it fires me up. But other people just might not like it. Like, hey, like let's tone it down a little bit. Like you don't need to be like that. But some people just can't deal with it. And it definitely is a thing. Like, especially if you live here in South Florida, you notice like when someone's from Boca, you can just tell by their attitude. It's not a bad thing by any means, but it's definitely something that you have to get adjusted to. Especially if you don't live here and you're not from here. You have to be aware of that. So those are the 5 worst things about living here in Boca Raton. And like I said, they're not that bad. And most of them are actually kind of good things. It just depends on you and your personality. But let us know down in the comments down below, did we miss anything that should have been a con of living here in Boca? Plus, what are some of the good things that you actually love about living in Boca? And if you or anyone you know are looking to buy or sell anywhere here in South Florida or Florida in general, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can call us, text us, email, DM us, whatever's easiest for you, we got you.